So we're already going so fast, and we're building a civilization that's artificially moving at such a fast rate of speed, it really doesn't know where it's going or why, because the faster it moves, the more limiting the consciousness becomes. There was actually more expanded consciousness 100 years ago than there is today, despite all the ayahuasca and LSD in the world. So we're at a spot here where it's really important. I mean, there's like, there's a few people here but compared to how many people there are on the planet, the number of us in this room is really limited. Yeah, we've all come together here. We all came here because we all actually really want to know something. We all want to know, what is the meaning? What's the meaning of the crop circles? Why are they happening? What's the meaning of 2012? It's really close. Are we supposed to know something more? Is there something we need to do that we can prepare? How do we do this? Those of us who are here just reflecting on the matters that we're reflecting on represent probably a pretty elite minority. They don't think about these things at the editorial offices of USA Today or at CNN. But we're thinking about them. So there must be that we're all here because we have some inkling that maybe it's true that we're being moved on a divine interdimensional shuttle called the Divine Plan, close to this omega point called 2012, but it's a spiritual journey. And we might as well begin to understand right now that this is a spiritual journey. We have to get spiritual. To get spiritual, to get really spiritual, if you go back and read the lives of the great saints or the mystics, you go back and everybody loves Jalaluddin Rumi. I bet you he never believed he'd be the most popular poet in the New Age back in Persia in the 13th century. If you read his life, if you know his life story, he had a lot of heartache, and he was a desperate seeker. You take his contemporary, another guy, Ibn al-Arabi, another Sufi, who traveled from Spain to Persia, Iran, Mecca, and then finally was able to come to a place where he said, my heart is a temple, for gazelles it's a pasture, for the worshippers of the Kaaba, it's the Kaaba, for idol worshippers it's a temple full of idols. I follow the religion of love, so whatever you want, I will become that. Water takes the color of the receptacle it's in. However we believe in God, that is our God. We all have some inkling of a supreme creator, and whatever we believe it is, that's exactly what it is for us. And if we know that everybody has a slightly different coloration, as it were, but we all have the same, we're all called to the same memory, we're all called back to the same source. That's what 2012 is the call from the source to remember our universal oneness, to recall that we have all been here before, that we have been traveling on many worlds, that we're interplanetary, interdimensional travelers. We don't want this place to blow up. What are we going to do? So if we don't want this place to blow up and we know it's a spiritual journey, we have to understand, there must be something spiritual, some type of spiritual knowledge, maybe even a spiritual technology, if you want to call it that we can participate in, that will help us resolve the situation on this planet. we know that beginning with the harmonic convergence, we were setting up a field. We called for people to go to sacred sites, Lake Baikal, Ayers Rock, Stonehenge, Teotihuacan, Machu Picchu, Mount Shasta, Mount Fuji, many different places. We said, go to those sacred sites, and let's all be there at sunrise. So if you looked at sunrise on the planet August 16th, and you had astral goggles on, then you could see astral waves of unified intention rising at each of those points, creating a moving wave around the planet, a ripple that created a unified field of biopsychic intention interacting ever so faintly with the Earth's electromagnetic field to create a little ripple, a little dent, a little marker. And everyone said, yeah, I remember what I was doing that day. Or, hey, my life changed after that. So that was just the start. But there's a couple of things there that showed us that we were actually all responding to the signal from the center of the Earth, the interdimensional core. It's an octahedral core in the center of the Earth. They say it's an iron crystal. It was actually discovered by seismologists just before the harmonic convergence in 1986. Elongated at both ends at the poles. Streams of cosmic radiation enter the poles, go into the center of the Earth, and at the center of the Earth it's like what you might call an interdimensional plasmic photon cauldron that's tended to by interdimensional entities. And from there, signals are sent to the surface of the Earth, sometimes magnetic light ships will come up and take a look. Places like Mount Shasta, other spots, and then descend. And this is in communication with the star people, the guardians, the planetary hierarchy. I wouldn't be here with this message if I wasn't supported by all the invisible beings of the planetary hierarchy, and if I wasn't in resonance with the interdimensional entities of the center of the Earth, and if I hadn't been prepared by prophecies left by the Maya that were also all connected to this grand plan called 2012. So what we see there is, yes, we can get together. People like are still doing this. Jimmy Twyman, God bless him. He still has this idea. We were with Jimmy in Baghdad last March. Presented the 2012 prophecy at the National Theater in Baghdad. It was really a very amazing event because a lot of the sheikhs were there and Sufi singers and so on. And the sheikhs, it was very touching because the sheikhs had never heard about the Mayas. They never heard about the 2012 prophecy, and they were just truly curious. And it was very, very sad and tragic because I knew I probably wouldn't get back there and I didn't know how we would communicate in the future. We had to leave that seed. But they heard it.